everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I gotta say, I live in New England and this weather is just so crazy. I mean, one day it's 70 degrees, the next day it's 55. Today is one of those 55 days where it is cold out, it's raw, it has rained earlier, so I'm back to putting sweaters on and it's crazy. It's just crazy. Here it is the end of April, it should be warmer now, but that's New England for you. It's very unpredictable. Let's get into the video. Anyway, so today's video is testing new products. So I have a bucket here of a bunch of new stuff that I'm dying to test out that I got from different hauls, from subscription boxes and things I purchased online. And I want to really try and test these out. Let's go over the products that we're going to be using today. To start off, for primer, I have two. So the first one I have is the NYX Plump Right Back with electrolytes. It's a plumping serum and primer, and this is brand new. I think I hauled this for you in my recent Ulta haul. So let's, my skincare is done. So let's get right into this. This is my first time using this, so I'm dying to see how this works. I understand it is very hydrating, so I am really hoping that that's the case. I've got some pumped. It's just a clear gel. Okay. This has some very good reviews. I'm just looking at my mirror over here. Okay. Okay, it does feel nice. It's not sticky. It is a little sticky. It is a little sticky. Okay, so it's a plumping serum and primer. Okay, skin instantly feels and looks plump. Use alone or with foundation. So that's the first new item that we're testing out. And it is just a tad sticky. That's interesting. Okay, the next thing, because I'm that, you know, high maintenance kind of person, I always use two different primers. I always use a moisturizing one, and then I use a pore minimizing one for the areas in which I have some enlarged pores. And this is just a travel size sample that I got, and this is from Benefit. This is the Porefessional Light Primer. There you go. And I'm only using this on the areas where my pores are enlarged. And that's what the tube looks like. And this is, again, my first time using this one as well. So I will take the safety seal off. And we'll put some on the back of my hand. It's quite thick, just similar to the regular Porefessional primer. Okay, and it's sort of pink. It has sort of like a pink hue. So I'm going to take some from the back of my hand, and let me just use my hand mirror here, and I have some enlarged pores right in here. All in here. And I have some here on my nose, in this area, and then right here above my lower lip, my upper lip. So we'll see how that goes. Feels nice. I'm wondering if this is sort of their hydrating one, but the light hydrating one. Ultra lightweight face primer to minimize the look of pores. So this is based on the regular Porefessional, I would say. So, okay. So we'll give that a try. We'll see how that works. So the next thing I wanna start with is the foundation. Now I picked this up from Sephora. This is the Sephora Perfection Mist Airbrush Foundation. And I've got mine in the shade Fair. So that's what that looks like. We're going to give it a good shake. And I'm not spraying this directly on the face. I find that that can get too messy. So I'm going to spray it on my brush. And I have a BK 101 here that I'm going to use. And excuse the status of my brushes. They all need to be cleaned, but that's all right. We'll give this a good shake. And then I'm going to spritz it right on this brush. So that's coated right there. And let's see how this looks. It's quite light. And it looks to be very light coverage. This is great for the summertime because the coverage is very minimal. And I'm going to try and build this up because this is basically like my skin tone. It's very cool, the spray. When you spread it on your skin, it's very cool to, you know, temperature as far as cool. I mean, it's a nice shade. It is a perfect shade for me right now. When I get some color on or I start to self-tan, this might be a little too light, but that's all right. And I'm going to go one more time because I need some on my forehead. And I'm just going to turn to my mirror here. That's one coat. And that's very, very, very light coverage. Let's see if we can build that up a little bit. Just spray a little more on my brush. And let's see if we can just build that up a little, just a little bit. I want a little more coverage. So that's the foundation. I mean, I have to say, it's very light in coverage, but it also feels very light on the skin. You don't feel like you're wearing a lot of foundation. That's pretty cool. Let's take one little look here. I mean, the color for me is very nice. So, okay, let's go into concealer. So, I have from Flower Beauty, this is the Red Carpet Secret Eye Bright Palette in Fair. And that's what that looks like. Now, some of these aren't new products necessarily. Some of these are just new to me. And when you open it up, these are the shades that you have. So you have a color corrector that's sort of a pinky tone. And then you have your fair concealer. And then you have something that's just a bit darker. And then this is a setting powder here, right here, that you can set the face with. Set the under eyes with. And it comes with this cool little gadget. This little ball is icy cold. And apparently what you do is, we're going to start with the pink because I want to test that out. This is like a little, like a brightening color corrector for under the eyes. And I don't want to put too much on. Okay, I just have a little bit on there. And I'm going to start over here. And I have to say that cool ball on the end just feels so, so good. I'm wondering, is this a color corrector? Because it's really not doing too much. A primer. Oh, okay. So this is more along the lines of a primer, they're saying. Although I'm not sure why. I mean, I don't tend to prime my under eyes. I go usually right in with a little. One of the things I'm finding is that it's sort of pilling up on me and it's sort of dropping off on me and it's not really blending into the under eyes. I have to say, this little ball at the tip feels so cool, you know. Okay, so let's move on to the concealer. All right, so we're going to go into this lighter concealer here. I'm going to tell you right off the bat, I'm not a fan of this method of application because I mean, this little ball, as cool as it feels, it's not picking up enough of the concealer. Let's test it out here. Okay, and I'm gonna go in to my Sephora. This is the number 56 brush, and I'm gonna blend that in. I will say it's very bright under there, and I like that. And then there's some powder here that we can use to set that. And for the brush, I have this MAC 161 SES brush. This is perfect for under the eyes. It's slanted and it's very soft. So I'm going to pick up some of that powder on this brush. And we're just going to dust it. It just fits so perfectly right under the eye. Okay, I'm not liking the powder in this compact. I'll be honest with you. The concealer seems to be just fine, but I'm not liking the powder because I can see right in here, it's starting to look a little crepey, and I don't like that, but I'm going to fix that when we move on to setting powder, when we do that next. So, okay, so I've set the under eyes. Yeah, and I just don't like this powder. So unfortunately, this, as neat as this is, I don't know that this is something I'm going to continue using. I might try, like the balm feels very nice under the skin, the primer, and the concealer is very nice. I might use a brush though to apply those versus that, and then spread it with that little ball. But I won't be using the darker concealer or the powder because it's really making my under eyes look like right in this corner here, very crepey. But let's move on. Okay, so for powder, I have from By Terry, I have the By Terry Hyaluronic Hydrocare Setting Powder. And this is the colorless one. The only, because it's white, and the only concern I have is that it will have a white cast. So that's something that I will have to test out, and I'll put the results of my test in the description box below. This is a loose powder. This is not pressed. And as you can, woo, we got powder everywhere here. And as you can see, it is a white powder. And I have my Ulta powder brush here. And I'm going to dip into that and just tap off the excess. And then I'm going to just set the rest of my face. Okay, so I will let you know what I think about that, but looking in the mirror, this looks very light right here, almost white, and I'm afraid that it's going to have a white cast. So, okay, so that's set. All right. Moving on. Now, I really want to start with the eyes right now, and then we'll move on to bronzer, blush, and highlighter. In an AIA beauty box that I received, probably 3 months ago, this primer, this eye primer, I believe, came in that box. And so I thought what I would do is give this a try. And this is the Jason Wu eyeshadow primer. See if it says, and it's cruelty-free, paraben-free, vitamin B added, vitamin E, phthalate free, synthetic fragrance free, sulfate free. Okay, cool. Let's see what this is like. Okay, this is in light. And it's a squeezy tube, which I prefer a doe foot. But, oh, it's super thick. Come on, come out. There we go. Okay. And it's just that little right there. So I'm just going to pick that up. I'm going to spread it between, and I'm just going to look into this mirror here. And of course, it wouldn't be me. It wouldn't be me unless I got it all over the place. I'm just going to grab, I keep a little brush in this drawer to spread out my eye primer. So, okay. It's very light. Not sure I like that it's so light. And I did put a little too much on. I admit, I put a little too much on. So, just need to blend that in using a dry finger. And blend. You really don't need the amount that I put on my lids. Let me just take that eye primer off. Okay. You really don't need the amount that I put on, but okay. It's quite light, but it does really conceals the eyelids. Now what I want to do is I want to fill my brows in. I don't have any new brow products, so I'm going to fill my brows in and I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. I have my brows on. Let's get into some eyeshadow here. So I have a couple of different things here. First thing I have is this. This is from REM Beauty, and this is her metallic gel eyeshadow, and this is in the shade Affirmation, and I will show you what that looks like. And that's what that looks like. It's so pretty. I want to try and use some of this on my lids today. And I've got a nice little fine brush here that I'm going to use from, this is from Morphe. Just a cute little brush here I'm going to use to apply that today on the lid. But I do have two palettes I'm going to be reaching into. This is the Liora and Ofra Collab palette. This came out a little while ago, maybe, the earlier this month. And I did a video on this, which I can leave in the description box below. This is such a beautiful palette. I'm going to combine this, and this one is from Colourpop. This is the pressed powder palette in Sorbet, and it's just these beautiful pinky tones. So that's what we're going to use today to do the eyes. So let's get right into it. So I'm going to start off with this. This is a beautiful brush set from Morphe. This is the Morphe and 9 Collab brush set. And what I love about this is each brush is a different color. I'm going to start off with the mustard yellow, and I'm going to pick up a light shade to set the lids. I always like to set the lids with a light shade. And I'm going to use the very lightest shade in this Jason Wu eyeshadow palette. This came in an AIA beauty bundle, and I'm going to use this shade right here just to set the lids. And then this is the only shade I'm using in this palette because I've got a couple of palettes here that I really want to, start using. Just set that. So that's the only palette, the only color I'm using in that palette. Now, let's get into something a little bit more, more mid-tone. So, I think what I'm going to do, using the same brush, I'm going to go in with this shade here. This is actually the bronzer in Brooklyn. And I'm going to use that as a sort of a transition shade. It's got just a hint of like satinness to it, I want to say. And I'm just going to start and just build it up right here in the crease. Okay, this is beautiful. Pick up a little more. Yeah, that's really nice. And that's the bronzer. Now I want to start to make things look a little more rosy. So I think then what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go in using this Colourpop palette, and I'm gonna use this lighter matte shade here just to start darkening up the crease. And I'm using this brush. It's sort of like it's like a shader brush, but it's much thicker and larger. And I'm just going to darken this area right here. Now, unfortunately, there is a bit of kick up on these Colourpop shadows. Nothing from the Ofra palette, but from the Colourpop palette. There was definitely something there to kick up. So really dust off your brush. That is such a pretty shade. And then I'm going back in this sort of mustard yellow brush and just blending all of that. All right. And then on the lid, I think I'm going to use the blue one actually. This is a little bit larger. And I'm going to use that REM Beauty Gel Eyeshadow in the shade Affirmation. And I'm going to pick a little bit of that up on my brush. Just a little. And let's test this out and see. Yeah, that is so, so pretty. They do blend quite nicely. And then I think I'm going to go over that. I want to find a shade that's so close. So I think what I'm going to do is, see this shade right here in the corner? I'm going to take my flat shader brush, this one right here, this traditional flat shader, and pick some of that up. Well, that looks awful dark though as compared to this. You know what? I'm gonna use the color in this. These colors, by the way, from Ofra, these shadows, by the way, from Ofra, very smooth, very little fallout, blend well. This is such a beautiful palette. Okay, let me do this because I'm concerned that that's going to be too dark for the lid. So I'm going to go back in and cover that with this shade actually from the Colourpop palette. This one right here on the corner. And we're going to get into that. And we'll see how that's better, I think. And again, make sure you tap your brush off because these can be very, very flaky. And then, because we lost a little of the darkness on the outer corner there, I'm going to go back in to the green brush and pick up more of that shade, that darker shade on the Colourpop palette, and sort of bring that back. Okay, then I'm going to take this little orangey one that's again a very detailed brush, and I'm going to pick up the highlighter in here, and I'm going to put that under the brow. And then I'm going to take that same brush that I used to set the lids, and I'm just going to just go over that again. So the eyes are done. So now what I want to do is put some mascara on. So this is just a sample I got when I purchased the By Terry powder. This is the By Terry Mascara Growth Booster. Mascara. So it's like a mascara that has like a growth serum in it. So that's pretty cool. So it's got sort of, see, that's the package. This is just a mini size. And it's got this sort of big brush though. So I'm not sure how this is gonna go, but see, I don't like these dry formulas because they just don't coat the lashes. Yeah, this is a no-go for me. Yeah, I'm not loving this mascara. I love the fact that it has that lash booster in there. But as you can see, my lashes are pretty much, you know, I'm not gonna continue on with that. It just doesn't work. So I'm gonna pull out one of my old favorites here, and there's no comparison to that. I mean, this is high end, this is drugstore, but this is the one that I'm gonna pull out and use because I love this. This is the e.l.f. Lash Beets Defining and Lengthening Mascara. That one I'm gonna use instead. This one I find I love. I'm going to do the other eye, and I'll be right back. I am back. I have both mascara on both lashes. I'm just going to do on the upper lashes. I'm not going to put any mascara on the lower lashes. I kind of been liking that a lot lately. Let's move on to the face. So I do have a few things here that I'm wanting to try. For bronzer, I'm going to use the bronzer in this palette, because it is just the right shade of bronzer for me. It's a nice light bronzer right there. So I'm just gonna grab my Ulta Beauty bronzer brush. I'm gonna dip into that. Knock off the excess. And then just dust that on. I am done with this palette. Now for blush. I have here from Colourpop, Just a Flush Colourpop Cheek Palette. And we're going to use this. Let's see what the blushes are like here. All right. And this is what it looks like. Really pretty. What I'm going to do is use the lighter pink blush for today. This is very nice. The only problem is that these pans are rather small. So and you sort of have to be careful how you're picking it up so that you don't grab something else. And then for highlighter, I'm going to go into this. This I got in, I want to say I got this in a Nipsey. This is the Ace Beauté Glow Essentials Highlighter Palette. So let's go into this and we will see. We will test this out. Let's see how this looks. Oh, that is pretty. These shades are stunning. Look at that. Alrighty, so I am going to go in and I'm going to use I really want to use, and these are all quite light shades, which is nice. This one's the darkest one, and I probably can't get away with that, but these others are just beautiful. I don't know if I want an icy white. I want more of a gold. So I'm going to dip into the shade called Glowing, which is this gold right in the center here. Let's just see what that looks like. There you go. That's pretty. Let's see how that looks. Just a little. It almost doesn't, I mean, can you even see that? It's not really showing up that much. Okay, let's go into Icy, which is this shade right here. Let's check out Icy and see if that makes a difference. Oh, there we go. Yeah, maybe that gold is just too dark for me as well, which is just too bad, you know? Okay, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not a fan of this highlighter. It has little micro glitters in it, and it's very patchy. You can see there's an area right there that doesn't have any highlighter for whatever reason, and it wasn't damp. I don't like that. Sad to say, I'm not a fan of the highlighter palette. And now let's go on to lips. So, when I got the PR box that I bought from Ofra with the Liora and Ofra collab, it came with 2 lip products. This is the long-lasting liquid lipstick in the shade Liora, which is beautiful. And then it came with this lip gloss, which is in the shade Scorpio, because Liora is a Scorpio. So let's start off with the liquid lipstick. This is so pretty. This looks like a pinky nude. Oh, it smells like cake. All right, so that's the liquid lipstick. It's a sort of a mid-tone pinky nude. Nice. And then what I'm going to do is put this gloss on top. Make sure it's dry. But this is more of like a clear. And did I not show it to you? There you go. Oh, yeah. This is pretty. Just be careful because you want to wipe that off when you're putting this on over a darker lipstick, because you don't want to discolor your gloss. That's really, really pretty. So there you have it. That's the lip combo right there. This is the liquid lipstick in Liora and the lip gloss in Scorpio. All right. Now for setting spray. So I picked this up from e.l.f. This is the Makeup Setting Mist, and this is the Stay All Day Blue Light Micro Setting Mist, long-lasting wear. So let's break the seal on this. This is what it looks like. And we're going to give it a good shake, and then we're going to mist the face. Okay. See how fine that is? These types of setting sprays are so fine. Okay, here we go. Very nice. Very nice. And this has the added blue light protection in it as well. So I have to say we had some hits and some misses, unfortunately, in this batch of new products. I like the setting mist. I am going to really love using these Ofra products. Ofra quality is, you can't beat it. It's unsurpassed. And the lip products, as you can see, are just beautiful. A nice pinky nude. These shades of eyeshadow are just right up my alley. You've got a beautiful bronzer, a nice blush here, and a gorgeous highlighter. This is the highlighter I should have used because I knew Ofra highlights, again, unsurpassed. The Ace Beauté Glow Essentials highlighter palette looked like it was going to be beautiful, but it was awful, awful patchy, and I don't know why, but let's see. I mean, it looks great there, but yes, I don't know if you can tell on that swatch, on that, the icy swatch there, right here, it does look a little patchy there. Maybe it's just that one. And then there's this shade Pop in here, which is sort of an icy shade with a little bit of a pink to it. And these don't exactly feel the softest. Like, look at that. It's very sort of rough and chunky. And again, very sort of patchy on that one too. That's too bad because Ace Beauté has some great eyeshadow palettes. So not a fan of this. The Sephora Perfection Mist Airbrush foundation is very nice. I will use this throughout the summer. It's very lightweight. You cannot feel it on the skin. The shade was perfect and fair, so I will definitely keep using that. The blush from Colourpop, very nice. And that highlighter is stunning. It has some little micro glitters in there, but it's very pretty. It has a nice bronzer there. So I will continue using that. As far as the primers go, I think they did a great job. The Porefessional Light Primer did a great job minimizing my pores, enlarged pores. And this Plump Right Back I enjoyed very much. It's had a stickiness to it, so that way the foundation, when it goes over it really sticks to the skin and doesn't just sit right on top. Loving that. This powder, I'm still sort of on the fence about. It is pure white, and although it's a colorless powder, it's not supposed to give flashbacks, but I'm looking in the light and I can see here it's quite light, so we'll have to see about that. As far as the concealer is concerned, I liked the primer and I liked the concealer in here, but this powder it wasn't just very good. It was very dry and made my under eyes look real kind of crepey. So I won't be using the powder in here, but I will use these products here, but not necessarily with the ball. What I might do is take a small concealer brush and apply these products with the concealer brush, and then use this little ball tool to blend them in, because I really want to continue trying that out. And then for the eyes, the Jason Wu eyeshadow primer, I thought did a very good job of canceling out any discoloration on the lids. And I will put a wear test in the description box down below, and I will let you know just how all this makeup wore. And so you'll see the results of that down in the description box. Another product I wasn't a huge fan on is this Mascara Terribly from by Terry, with the growth booster in it. I'm not going to give up on this just yet. I mean, it took a couple of coats for it to really even coat my lashes, but if it has the booster in there, I kind of want to give that a try, maybe to lengthen my lashes. The REM Beauty Gel Eyeshadow in Affirmation. Look at how sparkly that is. And once it dries down, it stays put, you know, so pretty. And then for shadows, I used the Colourpop. So really the only two misses today were the mascara and the highlighter palette. So this I will probably pass on to a family member to see if they want it. And I will continue to use this. Maybe, you know, on days when I want light makeup, I'll use that. I think that's it for today's video. That was everything. In the testing new product video today. I thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please give me a thumbs up. Really appreciate that. And feel free to share this video and leave me a comment down below. I'd love to know your thoughts on a lot of these products. And I thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.